Hello fellow modelers and styling fanatics, welcome back to my channel. I hope that everyone is doing fine and enjoys the hobby. First video for the year 2023, and I have to wish you guys happy new year. I hope that this year brings all of you health, happiness, prosperity and whatever your heart's desires. I also wish that this year will be better than the last one. And now that I've got this thing out of the way, sorry, apparently I cannot speak today. Now that I've got this thing out of the way, let's move to our video introduction for part number 3 on our unique Tiger for the heavy guns, heavy armor group build. Now, the festive period was a bit difficult for me, to be honest with you guys. There were a lot of going on and I was hella busy, a lot of busy. So I haphazardly slapped parts of this video together, so it may not be consistent once again. Either way, my videos are not always consistent, but anyway, so you guys know the drill. Grab a seat, crack the mandatory cold one, and let's see what Past George and I have managed to put together in this episode of the Concrete Bunker. Well guys, welcome to part 3 of our weird Tiger for the heavy armor, heavy guns group build. And I know that I clearly stated in the previous video that I'm gonna paint this one on this update, but I saw something that made me change my mind. So while I was scrolling through Facebook one of these days, I saw a similar vehicle from another guy in Facebook, but the dashwork kit, and he had done something else. He had added the cast texture of the steel. So if I remember correctly, the surrounding of the turret, the surrounding all the way, this one and this one should be cast metal. Same over here at the back, and all these parts, and the sides together with the front armor plates should be cast metal as well. So I need to replicate this texture. With what I'm gonna replicate it, of course, once again I'm gonna use Tamiya white putty and just staple it in the areas where I want to create some texture. So I'm gonna start with that, and I'm gonna be back to tell you exactly what happened and how the vehicle is looking. Well guys, as you can see, I have applied the cast texture on the lower hull and the turret, and although you probably won't be able to tell the difference apart, the white paste slap on top of everything, believe me, the texture is there, and we're gonna see some difference when we paint the whole thing. Now let me tear it a little bit apart and tell you exactly where I applied the texture. Of course, I applied it all over the turret, all around the turret, and that's it about the turret. And then I proceeded with, over here at the upper hull, this part and these two small triangles, and then this side, and of course the other, and over here in the front armor plates. Now for the time, what's my next course of action, you may ask. Now of course, as always, my next course of action will be to attach all the road wheels and of course attach the tracks. But before I do that, I will need to paint the lower hull. So I'm gonna pause the video, start painting the lower hull and slightly weathering it, and I'm gonna be back with the wheels and tracks application. Well guys, I am back and I have done quite some stuff and I have created quite a problem to myself. But let's take one thing at a time and let me tell you what I have done first. What I have done in general. In general, I have painted the majority of the lower hull, the road wheels, and I have attached in one side of the vehicle the road wheels and the tracks, just to see how they go together. Now, apart that, let me break it into pieces, and let me start from what exactly I have done to my road wheels to give them this look. So, let's move the camera, zoom in a bit. Here is how my road wheels are looking, and here is what I have used to make them look like that. I have base coated them with 71065 Vallejo Panzer dark grey. I have diluted this color with white and black to create a lighter shade of Panzer grey, which shade I have used to paint the outer edge of the rim and the center, just to create some fake highlights and shadows. And after that, I have coated the whole wheel with Tamiya panel liner to give it some depth and accentuate the detail. When the dark panel liner dried, I have used some Humbrol dark brown wash here and there in places to give it some smudge and grime, to give it a dirty look. And when I have finished with the dark wash, I just painted the edges with this color, which is 71065 Vallejo Model Air Metallic, which is steel. And that's everything that I have done on the wheels. Let's zoom out now and leave the wheels aside, and let's talk about the lower hull. In general, I have used the same recipe onto the lower hull. Base coated it with Panzer dark grey, create some fake highlights and shadows with a lighter Panzer grey color, and I have then slapped Tamiya panel liner and Humbrol dark wash to give it depth and the dirty look. Apart that colors, there is one color extra that I have used, which is 306 Panzer Aces dark rubber, and with this color I have painted 1, 2, 3, those 3 parts, which I believe they were rubber because they are the bump stops for the suspension arm, and they are supposed to be rubber because the suspension arm is moving like this, and this thing stops it from going further up, so it needs to be rubber so it won't damage the suspension arm. And that's everything that I have done painting and weathering wise onto the lower hull for the time being. After that step, I have attached wheels and tracks on one side of the vehicle just to see how the things go together, and they go pretty easily together, if I may. In my opinion, you can retain movement on the wheels if you wish, with careful glue application, as you can see. but that's not a problem for me, because either way the vehicle is gonna be static and it's not gonna be moving. So movement of the spinning of the wheels, it's not my point. Anyway, I just wanted to see if I'm gonna try to maintain it movable, and I have made it. Anyway, I'm throwing it out there with no significant reason. Anyway, what's the problem that I created to myself, you may ask? The problem that I created to myself is with the tracks. Now, as you can see, tracks are the usual rubber bands, and you need to fix them correctly in place so you can have a realistic look. They need to go to look something to look like this, which is kind of difficult, and I don't know yet how I am going to achieve this look. But anyway, I'm gonna find a way to do this off camera. Took me a while, but guys, I have finally decided how my base is going to look, and I'm going to depict the tiger on an even ground. So I have glued the tracks in shape, and I have glued the suspension firmly in place, and now I'm gonna show you how the other side is going together. So we have two types of road wheels. One type is this one and the other type is that one, and it is easy as pie not to mix them up. I'm gonna tell you the way. So this type of wheel goes to this type of hub, this over here, this one, and here, and the rest, and the other types onto the rest of the hubs. So let me position them. Now you need to attach those securing rings. Instructions state that when you attach this ring, you should melt the knob where my tweezer is pointing over here. You should melt it to make something like a nail head, so the wheel will retain its spinning qualities. But I'm not willing to use fire, and I'm not willing to to retain movement of the wheels. Either way, this is, as I've said before, this is going to be a static display model, so no movement is required. Now let me attach the rest of the wheels together with the securing rings. That's the way I'm gonna call them, securing rings. Okay, this one needed a little bit of persuasion. Oh, sorry guys, I knocked the camera. So now that we have all the securing rings and the wheels in place, we have to attach the wheel centers or the wheel hubs. So before I am going to attach the wheel hubs, I'm gonna apply a drop of glue in each wheel. As I've said, I don't care if the wheels retain their movement. I have taken my decision. And now it is time for the hubs. Hubs are pretty easy, as you might imagine. You just place them there. They have an inner ring, so you will be able to center them properly and you won't face any problems at all. Now I am going to continue doing that off camera, of course, because I don't want to bore you guys. So guys, I have managed to attach the tracks in both sides and make them look as best as I can, so as good as the box art or the instructions stated. So apart that, I have attached the side fender to have a proper image of how the thing is going to look with the tracks and the fenders on, and here is how it is supposed to look. And that's the look from the other side. Okay, yep, I know that this wheel is levitating onto the air, but I'm gonna fix that when the base comes, when the time for basing the vehicle comes. And now we are going to attach the other fender. So this one is the front side, of course, because there's gonna be a headlight, and this one is the rear. Keep an eye out because these edges over here on the inner side have to hug the tracks. It needs a little bit of fiddling, you know, to get it in position. Of course, my tracks are on the way, and there we have it. Now, it is a simple process to attach the fender properly, and the process goes like this. I'm gonna apply glue, moving from the rear to the front part of the vehicle. I'm gonna apply the glue in stages, keep it in position, keep the fender in position while the glue cures, and then it's gonna look like the other side. Well guys, as you can see, I have glued this fender also, and I have done some extra work off camera. I have glued also the main gun, and I have base coated the whole thing in Panzer Dark Grey, the typical color I use from Vallejo Model Air, which is none other than 71056. I am really happy with its appearance. Here we have the cast texture onto the sides, onto the turret, and of course everywhere else that I applied this texture. I was informed by a friend that Tigers never had a cast texture onto them. They were rolling the steel, so the steel panels of this vehicle were really smooth, but it is what it is. I have added it, and I'm not going back to erase it right now. I am pretty happy. Either way, it's a unique vehicle. It's a vehicle that was that has seen battlefield only in one instance. So it is what it is. It is going to stay like this. Now, for the time being, I think that I have enough footage, which means that I am gonna stop recording right now. And with all that said and done, we have made it to the end of this episode. On our next episode, we will continue with painting and weathering stage of our Tiger tank, and we may be able to attach the final parts like the Pioneer tools and accessories, but I am not telling you for sure, guys. We're gonna see. I hope that you guys found this video helpful and interesting and stick along for the next one. Before I go, I wanna thank each and every one of you guys that watched this video. A special thank you to all my subscribers, new and old. You guys are the best and you are the reason I keep doing these videos. For the newcomers out there that encounter one of my videos for the first time, welcome guys. I hope that you like what I do. If so, you all know what to do. Leave a like, comment with your thoughts and opinions, share the video if you believe it deserves to be shared, or even consider subscribing for more builds to come your way. Until the next time, fellow modelers and friends, take care and model on. It was that Mofo Demon signing out.